Good day folks, Sean here from Air Photography. So in today's video, we're going to be doing a comparison of the DJI Mini 4 Pro against the HOVERAir X1. Now I know what some of you are thinking, and yes, I fully understand that these are two completely different types of drones geared to different types of users. Now this video is not going to be a spec comparison video against camera performance and other aspects, because in reality the Mini 4 Pro is going to outperform the Air X1 in every aspect. Better video quality, higher speed, longer flight time, but there are some key aspects of the HOVERAir that could make it very appealing to some people. And for some people, this could be a better choice than something like the Mini 4 Pro. So that's what we're going to be focusing this video on, a comparison of usability to help decide which one is right for you. Now, I have been using my HOVERAir quite a bit. If you're a regular to my channel, you've probably noticed, or maybe not have noticed, but there's been quite a few shots taken on the HOVERAir integrated into my videos. It's actually become a very important tool for me. I've been filming a lot of outdoor content, and I've actually been using this more than my traditional drones just because of its simplicity. Now, in a perfect world, if you had the budget, something like the HOVERAir could just be a nice complement to your existing kit if you already have something like a DJI Mini 4 Pro or the Air 3. So let's go ahead and we're going to start with the HOVERAir and some of the key features why this might be appealing to some people. The first thing is just its weight and size. This thing comes in at 125 grams. It is super compact. This can literally fit in your pocket. You don't need any controller to use it. It is completely autonomous, so you don't have to have any particular skills to use it. I think a drone like this is best suited to those who are creating content for social media, vloggers who just want to capture some B-roll footage for their vlogs, or you just want to capture some interesting perspectives on family vacations. This is not like a traditional drone. It doesn't come with a controller, so you can't really fully control it like you can something like the Mini 4 Pro. Now, within the app, it does have a virtual controller, so you can fly it like a traditional drone, but it's not quite the same. You're not going to have the same kind of fluid movements that you can with a traditional controller. On top of that, the range is going to be very limited compared to something like the Mini 4 Pro. The most appealing feature of the HOVERAir is that it's super easy to deploy. Using this button to select what kind of intelligent flight mode you want, pressing the go button, it's going to automatically take off from the palm of your hand, perform the selected task, it's going to automatically start recording, and then it's going to return right back to you and again land in your hand. So perfect for vloggers and social media creators. If you're out for a hike and you just want to capture a little bit of B-roll, it really truly is the easiest way to capture that type of content. So I just want to do a quick demonstration here showing you how quick and simple it is to deploy something like this over something like the Mini 4 Pro. So I'm just going to do a quick time demonstration showing you the difference between launching the Mini 4 Pro and the HOVERAir if we just want to do a simple rotation for some B-roll. So what I'm going to do is set the timer, unpack the drone, power it on, get it to do the rotation, land it, put it away, and we'll see what the time difference is. So we'll start with the HOVERAir. I will hit the go button, so the timer is now going. I'm just going to pull it out of my pocket, unfold it. We're going to power it on. We'll just wait to get the confirmation that it is ready to go.
Current mode, orbit.
So it's ready to go now. And all we have to do is press the power button. I'm going to move back here a little bit just so it doesn't hit the camera. So the drone is now locking on to me. It just moved back to the preset distance that we have it set, which is 1.5 meters. You can change that in the settings. So it's now doing the rotation. So it's done one complete rotation. It has stopped recording. Now it's going to fly back to me. Put our hand out. Lands. We'll power it off. And back in my pocket. And that took 1 minute and 12 seconds. So now let's do the Mini 4 Pro. We'll see what the time difference is. And I might cut some of this out just so it doesn't get too long. But I'm going to start my stopwatch now. And that includes, now we have to unpack the Mini 4 because, you know, most people carry it in some kind of bag, backpack. So we'll get everything unfolded and ready to go. And my apologies, I think there's a train going by somewhere, so it could get a little loud. Power the drone on. We'll get the controller ready to go. So we're just going to wait for everything to connect and get enough satellites. And I'm just going to use my backpack here to launch the drone. And yeah, sorry, there is a train going by. Probably can hear the train whistle there. So it is connected. We're just waiting for it to get enough satellites. We're currently at 11. We'll take a few seconds longer, maybe 20 seconds longer, because we are under a tree canopy. We got confirmation that the home point is updated. So let's go ahead. We will launch the drone.
Take off.
So I'm going to position the drone. So this all takes time, right? With the hover, you just hit a button and away it goes. But with this one, we have to do some positioning, get everything ready. And I am in a tight quarter here, so we want to make sure that we're not going to hit anything. Adjust my camera. And we're going to select ourself. So we have ourself selected, so now I'm going to select point of interest. And we'll just do a slow rotation. We'll hit go. And I'm already going to have to stop it. Yeah, it's just too tight of quarters in here. The obstacle avoidance was making it kind of do some crazy stuff. The hover in this type of environment worked a lot better. We just couldn't do it with the Mini 4 Pro. But let's go ahead and we'll finish this. We will land the drone. Because that little bit of messing around probably took about the same time as it would have taken to do a rotation if we had been in an open field. We'll fold everything back up and get it put away. Backpack back on. And that took 4 minutes and 38 seconds. So as you can see, the hover is a little bit quicker and easy to deploy. Now in this situation, the Mini 4 Pro just didn't work. There was just too much around and the obstacle avoidance was making it do some stuff. In an open area, it would have performed a lot better. The Mini 4 would have given us higher resolution files, whereas the hover drone can only do 2.7K. So that is going to be important to some people. Some people prefer the higher resolution, where other people would prefer the simplicity. Now, both drones do an excellent job when it comes to tracking. The thing is, the Mini 4 Pro is just going to give you more advanced features and more customization. With the hover drone, you can go into the settings and customize some tracking options, but ideally, the Mini 4 Pro is just going to give you more options, and that could be important to some users. Now, although the tracking capabilities are not quite as robust on the hover, it does a really good job, and it makes up for it in its simplicity. Again, just like we did with the rotation, you can get up, do some tracking, put it away, and it takes no time at all. No skill, you don't have to worry about anything. Now, it's also important to note that the Mini 4 Pro offers obstacle avoidance while tracking, which can be important. Now, although the hover drone does not have any form of obstacle avoidance, it does a pretty good job tracking where you walk. So as long as you avoid obstacles, stay well away from them, most likely it's not going to hit anything. And because of its cage design, if it does happen to bump into a tree branch or a tree trunk, most likely it'll just bounce off. Now, I'm just going to show you a quick demonstration of tracking on both. Now, again, with the Mini 4 Pro, just like I've shown you with the rotation, sometimes it doesn't do well with a lot of obstacles. And not only that, it can be a little bit unpredictable the way it moves. I'm going to have it follow me from behind, but sometimes it likes to get into the side of you. And, that can cause some problems, especially when we're going to be walking in an area like this that's a little bit tight. But we'll see how it does. I find the Mini 4 Pro is best for tracking in wide open areas when there's not a lot of obstacles around. The hover drone, I feel more confident in a situation like this. And again, with the Mini 4 Pro, you will have a controller that you need to hold on to, which isn't ideal for some situations. So I've got the drone connected now. I have it locked on to me, and we're just going to go for a little bit of a walk. And I will have to keep an eye on it because I do have water on that side of me, and I don't want it to end up in the water if it does kind of go a little crazy with all these obstacles. But with this type of tracking, you're going to get higher resolution. And as you can see on the interface there, I'm not going to change anything just because of you know, with all this stuff around us, but you can get a little bit more creative. You can have the drone go off to the side of you, and yeah, you can just do more with it. So for some people, this is going to be a better choice. So yeah, as you can see, that's doing a really good job. Now, you probably didn't see what happened there. The camera's too far. But what I did there is I turned around and started walking backwards, and the drone whipped around because it wanted to get to the back of me again, just the way we have it tracking us. And that's where you can run into problems. Flew over the water there, and there's a tree with some very thin branches, so then you risk it running into it because the obstacle avoidance can't see it. Whereas the hover drone, you'll see here in a minute, it'll just stay right behind me and it won't move. But let's go ahead and we're going to land this, and we'll do a quick demonstration with the hover drone. So yeah, the Mini 4 Pro does an excellent job when it comes to tracking. So now let's put the hover drone up, and we'll do a little quick demonstration with it. And just like before, the thing about the hover drone is that it's so quick and simple to deploy. I've just pulled it out, powered it on. So I've got it in the follow mode. All we have to do is press the button.
Standard. Follow.
So the drone is now hovering and it's locked onto me. And there are some adjustments you can make in the settings for the distance at which it follows you, the height. But yeah, let's just go for a quick walk here, and it should just follow us. And the nice thing with the hover drone is that I don't have to worry about where it's going to fly off to. If I move a certain way, it's not going to go off to the side. So I feel a little bit more confident in situations like this where there's a lot of vegetation around me. I know that it's going to stay exactly where I'm walking. And it does a pretty good job even at a high rate of speed. I'm going to run here for a minute. Don't laugh at me, I'm not the best runner, but I just want to show you that even if you're moving at a higher rate of speed, it can still keep up to you. Yeah, don't laugh. And now I'm going to go back the other way, and the drone is going to turn around and continue following me. So the hover drone is just a great simple way to get B-roll footage, and you just don't have to worry about it. So both drones do a really good job at tracking. For some people, the Mini 4 Pro is going to be the better option, and for some people, the HOVERAir X1 is going to be a better option. Now, as mentioned, even if you're in a thick wooded area, it still does a really good job tracking you, even though it doesn't have obstacle avoidance. As I mentioned, it follows pretty well everywhere you walk. So if you're walking through a forest with a lot of trees and obstacles, as long as you stay away from them, it's going to basically track exactly where you were. And I'll just show you a quick demonstration of that now. So right now the camera's locked onto me. It started recording automatically. So we can just start doing some hiking or whatever we're doing, and it will just follow us while it's recording. So I'm just going to go for a bit of a walk here. Now, as mentioned, as long as you stay away from trees and obstacles, it does a pretty good job just following where you're walking. But we will get into a tighter situation here, and we'll see how it does. You can see it bypassed that tree there to the side. And now I'm going to go through a small opening, and there's some branches around it. But it should just take the path that I took and avoid most of it. There is some thin branches there that it might run into, but if it does, it should just push right on through, and indeed, no issue. So I'm going to go this way now. And again, it can just follow me. So it's a really good way to get some nice hiking videos if you want something following you, and it's super easy to deploy. Sometimes drones with obstacle avoidance, when you get into these tight situations, as we've seen earlier, the obstacle avoidance can be more of a hindrance. So here's another good example where the hover drone is quite beneficial. Don't even have to get off my dirt bike, pull it out, Power it on, press the button.
1.5 meters, orbit.
Now it's just going to go and do its thing. I have it set to do 3 complete orbits. It's done now, so it's going to fly right back to me. Put my hand out. Lands. Back in my pack. And then off we go again. So as you can see in that scenario, the HOVERAir performs extremely well. The video quality is actually quite good for what it is. It can capture up to 2.7K at 30 frames per second. And for social media, even for YouTube, that's more than adequate, more than what you need. Now that was just a quick demonstration of an orbit mode, but there are several other modes included. Each one of these modes can be adjusted in the app, so you can set things like distance and height. Now switching over to the Mini 4 Pro, something like this is just going to be an all-around better drone if you want a drone for capturing cinematic footage. The camera and the quality of video and photos that it captures is going to be much better than the HOVERAir X1. It's got a bigger sensor, and you just have more options when it comes to creativity. It can fly a lot faster and in windier conditions, and it's going to have much better range. So if you're going to be filming things that are quite a ways away that you need to fly to, something like this is a better choice. The HOVERAir is really designed to film within close proximity to you. On top of that, you are going to get much better battery life, much more flight time. The HOVERAir batteries are rated for 15 minutes, but realistically, you're going to get about 8 to 12 minutes worth of flight time. Whereas the Mini 4 Pro with each battery, you can expect to get at least 38 to 42 minutes. Again, depending on how you're flying. However, you can see when it comes to battery size, the Hover battery is quite a bit smaller and lighter. So you can easily take multiple batteries for the HOVERAir if you do need to extend your flight time. Now lastly, before I go here, one more reason why something like the HOVERAir X1 could be the perfect choice for some types of creators, and that is due to just how inconspicuous it is when using it. You could be filming at a park with lots of people around. Not everybody is a fan of drones. Sometimes putting up a traditional drone can draw unwanted attention. Something like the HOVERAir X1 is so small, quiet, most people won't even know you're using it. Myself, when I'm in a public area and there's lots of people around, I tend not to fly because I like to be respectful of other people enjoying the space. But the HOVERAir one stays pretty close to my proximity. It's quiet, most people won't even know I'm using it. So in those situations, that could be very important to some types of creators. Won't be important to everybody, depends on what you're buying a drone for and what type of things you're going to be filming with it. But for some people, that could be very important. So as you can see, both drones have their pros and cons, and both drones can be very beneficial to different situations. For some people, the Mini 4 Pro is going to be the better choice. For other types of creators, the HOVERAir X1 is going to be a better choice. Some people like to fly drones, they like to master the skills. Not everybody's into that. Some people just want to get the shots. Something like the HOVERAir, you don't have to have any skill. You can just get up and running very quickly. So it all just depends on what's most important to you and what you're trying to capture. I've been actually quite impressed with the performance of it. When I first reviewed it last year, I was a little skeptical of it, but it's proved to be very valuable to me. You will be seeing a lot of footage from it coming up in the coming months. Well folks, that's basically it. Just a quick little comparison video going over some of the capabilities of each drone and which drone is perhaps designed for what type of user. Hopefully you enjoyed this video and found it had value. Give it a thumbs up if you did. It's always greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.